The Minnesota Timberwolves made a big acquisition in the offseason when they acquired Rudy Gobert. I'm looking at the first 10 games for the Wolves, and I see Rudy facing his old team at home in Minnesota. What do you think about that matchup?
I don't think anything about the matchup. I mean, why would Rudy be concerned about what the Utah Jazz has to offer them this next season? I don't think nothing of it. He'll be home. I mean, did he request a trade or did they just trade him? So
That's a good point.
if he had requested a trade, then maybe. But no, they did that on him. So no, they shouldn't feel no way about it, and neither should he.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I mean, because if you think about it, Utah didn't necessarily get better with the trade.
That's what I'm talking about. No, not at
Hmm.
all. So yeah, one thing when I look at this overall schedule, what comes to mind, I think Pat Bev is going to be missed on the Minnesota Timberwolves roster.
Absolutely.
More so on the Minnesota Timberwolves roster than the gain for the Lakers. I think that. So I'm just concerned about what this overall looks like, especially when we're talking about backup to point guard. So I don't know. I don't know what that looks like overall for the long term, down the hall. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. So yeah, he'll be missed for sure. That's one of the things that I'm disappointed about the trade. Even when they traded Pat Bev to Jazz, that they got rid of him. I didn't want them to trade him. I think he was a great
Yeah.
addition to their team. So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also looking at the Wolves play the San Antonio Spurs in a semi back-to-back, staying in town to play the
What
San
is it?
Antonio Spurs. I mean, I don't
Who
know.
who scheduled this for
Please.
the Minnesota Timberwolves? Who did their first 10? They played the Spurs 3 times? Stop. That's overkill. That's overkill. And I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, no, it's overkill.
Yeah, it's funny though. So I'm looking at two nationally televised games for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I personally think they should have more than that. But when I look at the first 10, I actually have the game versus the Los Angeles Lakers circled on my calendar. Not necessarily the game against the San Antonio Spurs on October 30th on NBA TV. Like, why did the NBA decide to show us that one?
That one.
You
And
know?
and and it's so funny because just go ahead and add another one to the Lakers nationally televised list. They already got all of them anyway. Why you couldn't
Hmm.
add this one? That would be a better nationally televised matchup than the San Antonio Spurs. I don't get the Spurs. I don't get why they have 3 games against the Spurs, number one in the first 10. And I don't get why this game is the one that they want to have televised on NBA TV. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Hmm.
I don't get it. I am looking for, though, the Lakers game, the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Lakers would be one that people can get up for, right? Like, really? And then also the Phoenix Suns. I want to know
Yes.
what the Phoenix Suns and the Minnesota Timberwolves, what they look like together. That for me is something that I'm looking forward to seeing. And I get why that game. Maybe more so, I think the Timberwolves were able to kind of get on because of the Phoenix Suns. Let's just be honest. I'm quite sure TNT picked up this particular game because of the Suns and not because of the
Yeah.
Wolves, although the Wolves are warranted to getting some more nationally televised games too. But yeah, those are the 2 games. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns, for me, are the
Hmm.
games that I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing in the first 10 for the Timberwolves.
Right. No surprise that, they're airing the Bucks on ESPN,
Yeah,
versus the Wolves. It's going
absolutely.
to be really good to see, okay, can Cat and Rudy Gobert really contend with Giannis coming down the middle? The Bucks are a pretty big team. Chris Middleton's going to be back. I mean, I just don't know how that's going to look. And the Timberwolves are going to have their hands completely full with that matchup.
Yeah, and this is, I think, where Kyle Anderson will come in and really help with their roster because the Timberwolves picked up Kyle Anderson this offseason too. So with Kyle Anderson's experience and then also coming from the Memphis Grizzlies and their success that they
Right.
had, I think it'd be a great addition to the Minnesota Timberwolves and how they'll be able to manage from a length perspective when we're talking about playing up against the Bucks. So yeah, I can see
Hmm.
that.
One of the challenges I see, we talked about this in the previous episode, but I'm wondering how Karl-Anthony Towns will, work out with Rudy Gobert down in the paint because we know Rudy Gobert is kind of limited offensively, and Cat likes to operate in the paint, but Rudy Gobert is going to be in the way. So how is that going to actually look? That's a big challenge I see for the Wolves.
You know what? That is something to consider because Anthony Towns has been managing that paint role since he's been on the Timberwolves. Like
Hmm.
that's where he's been able to do. But I think They brought in Rudy Gobert because I don't really think that the cat likes to be there, although that's what he does, right? So maybe this would give an opportunity now to play more of the perimeter, more mid range. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's going to be, but they're going to be fumbling. I would say the first 10 games, we're going to see some clashes. Some people are going to be in the way just to
Yes.
get their footing together. And I guess if they're going to do that, they might as well do it against the San Antonio Spurs. Just don't get it. If you're going to figure it out, I guess them 3 games, the ones San Antonio Spurs, again, stop. Yeah, so no,
Yeah.
I think I agree with that challenge. Another thing I'm concerned about is how much playtime will Kyle Anderson get because of Anthony Edwards? Like, will he really get enough time? I know he came off the bench in his last season with with the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm quite sure he'll be coming off the bench with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But will he get some time? I'm just wondering, because Anthony Edwards is young. He can play the full game if we need him to. He's really a great player. This is going on his 3rd season. Like, I just hope Kyle Anderson, because he really helped the Memphis Grizzlies, go deep. He was a pivotal piece in that whole system that they had to come to the Timberwolves and be such a great role player and then not get no roles. I don't know. Something I'm thinking. So I'm just wondering how they're going to utilize him. How will they utilize him, with Anthony Edwards being there? So we'll see how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kyle Anderson, if you think about it, he's quiet, but he's a dog.
Yeah.
And so when the Wolves lost Pat Bev, I'm not saying Kyle Anderson is on that level, but
no.
He's a dog, and I think that would be great for the Wolves to have moving forward. All right, now let's share our predictions for the first 10 games for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We already talked about them playing the Spurs 3 times.
God.
Do you have them? What is their record in the first 10? What would be their record?
I give them, my prediction is 7-3 with a loss to the Lakers, a loss to the Suns, and of course the loss to the Bucks. I shouldn't say of course, and a loss to the Bucks. That's who I have them losing to. So they'll be 7-3 for me.
Okay.
They will win all games against the Spurs. And if they don't, something is wrong.
We need to have a talk. I have them going 7-3 as well. I have them losing to the Lakers. I have them losing to the Suns. And I also have them losing to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I have them losing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe they'll change the nationally televised games, because don't you want to see Pat Bev go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves? Like, don't you want to see that since he's on the Lakers now? Like, must see TV. Yes,
especially the way he jumped up on the scorers table when they made it to the. I want to see him play against his old team.
Yes, me too. So yeah, those are the 3.